know, where we at?
Did you give him that contract to sign then?
I didn't have it.
I like the look of it.
We'll do that or come at a point here. And then maybe put, flower pot up there or something.
Good.
Okay. But it's actually,
It don't matter.
you know who my person is, Rebecca?
Oh, Rebecca, she did it for you?
Okay.
It looks good.
Do we have to sign this officially in a meeting or can it just be signed?
It can just be signed because you already approved it.
Okay.
Oh, would you want to put sidewalk, that hillside?
I don't know, like Mike said, we don't, we're gonna walk through the grass.
Unless you want to come from the circle or, behind it.
No, that,
Yeah, I
that's a
know.
good idea, like you say, but I don't like
Yeah,
people.
because we got that hillside to go there, about
Yes.
close to 3 foot.
I like the idea too, where you said where the door used to be too.
I don't care.
It don't matter to me, I want to miss the septic, like you said.
Yes, this will miss the septic.
So that's what Charlie wanting, this corner, that corner. I'm okay with it.
But Charlie wants me to still, since I can't trace it because it's plastic, wants me to scope it, see if I can get the town to come and put a camera on it.
They probably will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding.
They had before for me, but they told me that was the last time too,
Well,
but that was,
If they don't call me, I'll call them.
You know, you're.
They're not like they want to do a whole bunch of stuff.
no,
Looking.
they did it once for me right here, this one we had done here.
Yeah, that's on.
They said that they did it for Jim 2 or 3 different times, so they didn't want to keep doing the same thing, so they said it's last time.
I can't see anything.
Thank you, guys.
absolutely.
Oh,
Oh, it's there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
I saw it sitting there. I don't know if it pertains.
Yeah, it's me to give.
I just realized I don't think I brushed it.
I've never seen one. I don't, Charlie texted me thinking I'm gonna be here.
What?
Yeah, he told you all that to me.
Yeah, they are. There was one the other day.
And it's not a big decision, it's whether or not we're moving forward or not.
Hey.
Oh, okay.
And whether the council's gonna approve the money.
Bruce didn't know where that they buy this.
Hopefully, we're not, Lexi too.
Oh, yeah, never seen one of those. Yeah, it was just prior to the cutlass in the full country. Yeah.
Michaeline, we got enough councils, don't we? Did you get responses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seen K earlier.
Todd, I gotta give you an agenda.
Yeah, I'll have to change because it. Brothers. You know.
Thank you.
Actually, I've got 2 brothers and 3 sisters.
Really, I was gonna ask you, got sisters too?
But
In all
They-
fairness.
they were all born,
But no.
well, 4 of them were born, they were born in Knox.
Okay.
It was my dad's first marriage. And then they moved away like way before I was ever. So
Right.
I knew them, but not, we weren't close.
Right.
I
You
mean,
didn't grow up
I didn't grow up with
Right.
him. Now, if I did, the first time I saw him was at my dad's funeral. When I was 18, I'd never seen him before. Never.
That's pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, that was Russell.
Yes.
I should, oh, it's a map, huh?
It says man, but I think it's just what he's playing.
Oh, yeah, it's the old.
Yeah.
It's the old map.
I guess.
Huh. Wow. You guys know how, anybody know how to read this?
Right.
I'll pull it back up.
What is it?
It's a road map. Wait a minute, that's what this is, right?
Yeah. We used to use those.
All up.
I remember in all of our vehicles, we had the big old
Mm.
atlas, and that's how we
Exactly.
went everywhere.
I still have
Right.
one
Have
in
the
my
pockets
trunk.
in the back of your seat and you
Yeah,
can
put it in there.
And then after that, then you print it out like on MapQuest.
And then, yep.
You're trying to go someplace, you try to look at all these directions.
Our service truck used to have a map book in
Yeah.
it, that big
That's
for all
what
the
you
Chicago.
call
I used to
Look everything up.
I used to live in it. I used to-
When the police first went to start printing out the maps off of MapQuest, she got rid of the big map books and started every service call we got a printed map. It was so, she had it so. Wrong neighborhood, wrong. I mean, it
A
was-
friend
yeah,
of
yeah.
his daughter got her driver's license. So he gave her a list of errands to run. She wasn't allowed to use
Had to take his
Had to
old
take
truck.
his old
'cause it
truck.
didn't have
So
GPS.
how long ago was that?
this was just 3 years ago,
So she
maybe.
still hasn't gotten done yet then.
The worst thing was that, somebody else too said that their friend, their kid, they sent him to go somewhere, and because whenever he's in the car, he's always glued to his phone, he didn't know how to get from their house
Oh,
to
wow.
like the gas station.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyways, this friend of mine, she
Yeah.
sent around on a bunch of really obscure errands to go pick things up and gave her a map, you know, and explained the basics of how the streets are numbered and the names, how the names work and
And
stuff.
she had to be able to do it before she was
And-
allowed to.
He said he was shocked. She got it all done in like 2.5 hours and he was expecting it to take all day.
Yeah,
And she also had
longer.
to show him how to change a tire. I mean, like, he put her through all the things that we went through when we were kids. Nowadays, because of roadside assist, I don't think people teach their kids any of that stuff anymore.
Right.
You know?
When I was in driver's ed, they taught us how to check our oil.
Yeah.
How to change a tire, and at that time you could flood your car and you had a distributor cap, they showed you how
How to
to.
fix that.
To fix that, like.
Did they-
Over down inside.
Did
that.
they have inflatable tires when you were in?
You were born, I wasn't even a gleam in my dad's eye, think about that, I was 10 months after you.
Oh, good point.
Wow.
So
I
do
guess
you
I'm
guys
the old
remember the
timer,
in
huh?
between, like the tom-toms and stuff like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
And you're younger than us.
I still got it,
Youngest
I
one.
never used it, but I got one.
I thought Kay was the youngest.
Just walked in, I think. Hey,
No, you're a few months younger.
Oh, we're back to the.
17.
I'm
17.
17.
If I had known it was her birthday, I'd have jumped out of the cake.
He's 73.
He's on the wings, her hairstyle now and again because of the single.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, I've got like 12 of these hats, so just because they look the same, doesn't mean it's the same.
No, I know that you have different ones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hello.
I love these hats. I don't know if they still make them.
You were so cool there.
Yeah. My husband has a helmet with Scott.
Yeah.
He puts them on and then puts his baseball. Cause he likes his head to be.
See, these here,
One of the first ones.
band around the,
If not.
so like your ears,
So.
your ears stay nice and warm, but the top's really not that thin. So I can wear it, you know,
We
up
just,
to
we just.
70 degrees and not be.
Some of this stuff too. We just.
Yeah.
Jim
Without it all.
I talked to, I've met, I really talked to talk to you. I was going with you.
Went Friday, we did it Friday.
I was mentioning it. Oh, last Friday?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, I did
No,
it
that's
quicker.
okay.
I was this one.
No.
Yeah, that's why you're-
Get back some other stuff, so.
Everybody bad.
Except.
Well, yeah, we do that.
So we got it from.
I don't think.
Dave's gonna be good. Are we?
Is that good?
I think it does, doesn't it? Get on.
And I will.
Why?
Okay. Okay, we settled that, we're all old, except for.
Oh, this, I'm not.
I'm really old.
Howard's the youngest one up.
Absolutely.
Or no, probably no. No, Mike,
No, Bill, yeah,
On the council, oh, Bill might be the youngest on the council.
Bill is, yeah.
yeah, Bill is, he's 50,
Okay.
Is he 50?
he's younger than my kid.
I once was the younger fellow. Yes,
I don't know if it's mine.
your dad got a bit younger than I was.
39, month or two.
So wait, Mike.
I have a
are you younger
52-year-old.
than-
In them days, Michael Lane,
Charlie and I are very close.
Dave, I was the other
You
than.
might actually get younger than you.
I was the only man there to keep her dad in line.
Okay,
See, runs in the
somebody needs to
family.
explain to me why
Over.
meetings, what's different? When we have the evening meetings, the sound is
I
terrible.
didn't think about that.
But when we have them during the day, like the night before, and like
Come
this,
on, you know.
I can hear everything.
I got it. I did it. That's what-
Your ears are tired.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like
We haven't had action all day.
I was sorry.
Wait,
Cause I was, I had a few things to tell him.
Another council member.
Right, either like
That's-
That's
yeah.
Yeah, we.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
The sound in here is terrible.
Oh, what do you mean?
I know Dave,
You
but I.
know how to get it going now.
He's there on my end.
Well, she said he's gonna Zoom, but I don't know if that counts.
You can't vote on money.
This team,
Yeah.
when we get going,
Yeah.
it's this one.
Right.
Well,
Well,
Howard's not
more
coming.
people that are in here.
Yeah.
Unless-
For sure.
Can you call that?
I see it realize.
Yeah, I'm surprised Bill.
Because the daytime meeting.
Yeah,
is
too.
usually-
Hopefully
I
hold
know,
in.
but
for
John
that.
just has some
Talk so
tests
soft
done
most of
in
the time, I can't hear him
You
during the meeting.
I
don't
don't,
know
I
if
wanna
it
be
was-
here because when I went.
It's like
to my
this
first
week,
PTA
or it
meeting
might
and I
have
was
been
sitting up there,
Friday.
It is amazing how much.
Well,
you
see
can
the
do in that
result.
chair.
I don't know
Yeah.
about, I don't know about Cassandra,
Right there.
so I said.
Oh,
You
It's
can
a little
go back
tough.
up here. It's much harder to hear sitting
Could be.
at that table
Going-
than it is.
Powder room,
out.
Yes, sir.
we need to have a quorum.
Imagine that.
You don't like that? No.
Mics up here. Just, you know.
I just texted Bill.
Yeah.
You can hear each other.
It's gotta
But it's
be-
hard, it's hard. to
But
hear
see, we don't have
somebody
any
else
speakers,
you know.
We don't have any
You know,
speakers in here to hear.
That's what I say, we need.
Yeah.
I thought it came through, I thought it came through those speakers.
It does come through
That's what she's saying.
But when you're sitting up there.
It still does. Roberta said when she sat back there, it's fine.
Well,
I see, you go, okay, I see.
Like the birds can't hear us.
First easy,
Oh,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
could be
Yeah,
two people.
I was like,
yeah, because
The
the
only thing is,
there's only
Gwen
those
tells
speakers.
me that people are chattering.
Hardly ever hear John.
Up here, I don't really hear them.
Yeah.
That's annoying, cause you can't hear.
I can't hear my Zoom.
People are chatting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We may not have quorum.
I'll still present my stuff and then
I
I'll.
texted him, he's not,
Ooh,
Grace,
oh,
Well, I know I was supposed to have tests.
he was here yesterday, he didn't say anything to me about
You know
not
what?
coming.
Who all responded to you that they would be here?
Well, several of them responded that the date was okay. It seemed like it was good. I posted it. Nobody said anything that they weren't coming. Not even Charlie, and you said you guys knew he wasn't
Well,
coming.
He told us at the meeting, he
Oh,
probably
okay.
make it.
And I told him to text me and let me know, and that was like 2 hours ago, he told me he couldn't make it.
Yeah, cause that brought up the meeting.
See who, yeah, Howard Bailey, I thought he was gonna be here.
No, Howard's got
A funeral.
yeah, he's got a meeting with the family
What is it?
in Rensselaer.
I'm in Indiana?
No.
Who
of
else is
Michigan.
there?
That's why it
Kathy.
says
You're
Indiana.
not even old enough to know how to.
Anything
read.
from-
I've heard from her in a long time. She texts or email me almost every day.
I haven't heard from her either, I
I
don't.
mean, Mike, you're almost young enough that maps.
But doesn't it count? Because Dave's gonna be on Zoom.
Can't vote.
You can't vote.
Not about money.
No,
Other things, yeah.
We can still vote, you and I,
yes,
Yeah,
if we knew how.
and well, then it still won't be done for Rachel.
I
Gonna
don't,
say,
the direction that I wanna go, I probably won't need a vote.
really,
Where's Cassie?
She's probably.
Oh,
Well, she wasn't at the last council meeting.
Well,
No, she wasn't, you're right.
Yeah.
And like
You're
I
right.
said,
Cassie's been very busy with.
oh, because I was gonna say, she used to email me.
well, I know we learned a lot of good things today from press.
I messaged
She
her.
loves
right
it.
before you say it, her phone, and I just, you know, check and make sure
Yeah.
everything was
you
okay.
had me.
And
We met him on the
she goes,
floor.
Yeah, everything's fine, it's just. she
Talk
was like,
about
three really. good
funding
pieces
and other
of
stuff.
time.
And she's
Very
down in
It's
attorney.
good stuff.
In her office, so. She's just.
so do we want to give him a couple more minutes? or-
He's not answering me, so he might be,
Just, Todd, I just asked Gwen if she happened to be with Bill, cause I know they were supposed to go look at a ditch.
oh,
No, she's not with him. Just texted him back.
yeah, he's not, he might be a. Let's try to call him. You're all gonna have to hear it because my speaker doesn't work on my phone right here. I'm too cheap to buy another phone,
Ain't that?
Well, they're not cheap.
I know. Are they like $100?
Are you iPhone?
call has been forwarded.
Yeah, my phone,
iPhone?
it's like 1,000, 1,500.
See, we used to get the Galaxies, then we switched to the A54s because they're a quarter of the price and they're just as good.
Still start, not least they vote on.
Well, go ahead.
I think-
We just
All right,
can't
let's
vote
call
on
the
it.
meeting to order. We start with pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance. to the flag of the United States of America,
And to the republic for which it stands,
one
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, I just realized where Bill is now. He had that that river. The river board meeting was today.
Well, we're gonna get started with Rachel.
So on February 27th, we received a letter from NDOT with the minimal federal funding and inflation. PE numbers have well exceeded what they usually budget for everyone else for the fiscal year. So they sent out a letter, wanting to know if we can put any extra money toward the PE costs, other than the 20% that we're already putting toward it. And I needed a decision about this. They want to know by March 12th. So this is for Bridge 13, 600 North over the Robbins Ditch. It is a federally funded project, which is 80-20, 20% we pay. Federal funds is 80%. With federal projects, it's always 5 years in advance. I mean, you apply for the money and then the project doesn't get done for 4 to 5 years. And there's a lot more restriction and policies and procedures that they have to follow with the federal funds when you use federal money. The estimated bridge cost for rebuilding this bridge, if we were to go through through federal funds and all the preliminary engineering and construction inspection, I can do construction inspection, but not with federal projects.
We just can't do site manager.
So CCMG stuff I could,
Yeah.
but not federal projects. $3.182 million is what this bridge is gonna cost to be redone. So, got a couple ideas.
Can I ask real quick?
Yeah.
Did the 20% already get paid?
No.
So we haven't done anything with
That's,
that. or-
that won't be till, it'll be over the next 5 years where you pay a little bit when you're paying the preliminary engineering.
Mhm.
As they're designing and building the project, or, building the design, but the major part of it won't come until 2029, 2030.
And did we already put the 20% aside somewhere?
That would come out of, what we're allotted and seeded for roads and bridges every year.
Okay, but it hasn't been
No.
set aside or anything?
No.
Okay.
No,
So we don't have any money invested in this,
no, no.
other than your time, obviously.
Yeah, all we have invested in it right now is the engineering work, coming up with the design and the preliminary cost for applying for the grant in the first place, which was last year. That's what money we got into it.
You know what that cost was?
No,
Sorry,
Go ahead.
and that was paid.
yeah, I mean, it's like a process, like
Okay.
every time they do paperwork, you pay them, up to a certain amount. I don't have that with me then.
Do you remember?
Under 10,000,
It was
we've been
under
under 10,000 right now.
Okay,
Couple different options. We just say, no, we don't have any extra money, and they give it to us, they give it to us. They don't, they don't. And we still move forward with the NOFA grant, and this bridge is done in 2029, 2020, or 2030-ish, and we take a chance of whether or not they're gonna accept it with us saying no extra money. Another option is to offer extra money toward the PE. So the preliminary engineering is about $415,000 for the whole project. So we say, and I mean, if you wanted to offer extra money, you do 50%, and then I would just need to make sure that in 2029, 2030, I budget for that cost of Cume Bridge. So it's another option. We
And
could,
that was, sorry,
yeah.
and that was us up in the 20%. Right.
if we upped it to like 50%, so say we pay, 205 toward the cost, 207 toward the cost. Well, I would just have to make sure that, okay, that year, instead of using that amount of money towards something else in the bridges, we need to put it toward Bridge 13.
So what would happen then, instead of our price, our total amount being 636,000, it'd be almost 800,000.
Is there, I have not went out and looked at the bridge or nothing. There's no way we could do like a concrete culvert or nothing. Have you seen it, Todd?
I think, God, I think it would be worth looking at,
That's what I'm saying.
or even a multi-plate. A steel one that's actually gigantic, and they actually put it together with bolts.
Please let me get through my options.
Well, he asked me a question.
Stealing some fire, didn't know it.
He said, "Mr. Not me."
Dave? Well, he's muted.
Where is he at?
Up on top.
Right here.
It's back. It's back.
Oh,
Thank you.
welcome.
You saved the day.
Thank you, Teresa. Welcome.
Okay, so I'm seeing $844,000 if we proceed down this path. Is that
You mean if we did the 50%?
if we did the 50%?
Yes, if we did.
Can this project be done any other way for a less amount?
Only if we want to do it ourselves, but we would not be getting the 80% or 75% matching. So the whole construction
Yeah.
cost, like construction of this is 2.1 million, like we would be responsible for that entire cost. We would not get 80% of that paid through a grant.
Correct.
But it probably wouldn't be that much. I know what you're asking, Mike.
Yeah.
NDOT has all their federal rules and guidelines about what you have to build, and that's why these are so much. That's why there's so much money.
But it'd be very nice when it's done, I'm sure.
Yeah, but we could probably build the same bridge. You know, basically without all these crazy ass hoops to jump through. And it might be,
Maybe,
it
I
might,
mean,
maybe, it might,
inflation is still up.
yeah,
so-
inflation's a lot.
So
Well,
maybe you'd be
so-
paying $1 million for the construction costs.
So that brings me to another question, is we just got done with a bridge that we had to change the price on. So if we set this up now, I
Yeah,
mean, is this gonna be a moving target for the next 5 years? with-
Absolutely,
absolutely.
because it's snowfied.
And that's
You're
what happened-
applying for a federal
And
grant.
that's what
Right.
happened there. We had originally budgeted what it
Yeah.
was gonna cost, but then all this time, inflation, it went up, what, $200,000 more?
Yeah.
Why is utilities so expensive on this project?
I think that's just probably a guess. I don't even know what's out there that would have to be
Yeah, I'm
moved.
not sure.
I didn't think there was anything out there.
And the right of way, that right of way on all, I mean, that.
Well, there probably isn't enough right away, because they're gonna make the bridge wider probably
Yes.
by the time they do
All the
everything.
bridges that we've been doing over the last
Yeah.
several years, we've had to purchase right
I
away.
know we did out on 300.
Yeah, because we're making them, all of them have been bigger, because, and I think that may have, I don't know when it started, but we wanted to make them wider so our farm equipment could go across.
And then that probably would make you have to make them wider
Oh, I'm
anyway,
sure.
I'm sure.
Will this bridge last until 2030?
Nobody knows.
Okay, I mean,
Is-
is it in bad shape?
Is it getting inspected every year?
Yes,
Every year,
yes,
2
it's
years?
Deficient. so
Every
it's
year?
Every year.
So what is it now?
5, and it does not have a load rating.
Yeah, I say that. Well, we all know if it
Which
gets,
means what?
doesn't mean anything, yeah, but
Right.
it means if it gets a load rating, people are still gonna drive over it.
Right.
I mean, all this is a waste of 2 signs.
Yeah.
So if there's not a low rank, I mean. Like, should buy us a little more time.
It should.
Right. Well, either way, I mean, even this vote today is, for 5 years from now, so.
That's the whole problem with it,
Right.
like,
That's how it is with federal grants. At least with CCMG, it's the same here.
yeah, and that's what makes it so tough.
And you don't think we could get CCMG?
Oh, I mean, we can always try for it. Who knows if we're gonna get it or not.
Mm-hmm.
But have not been denied CCMG in a very long time.
Yeah, but not for bridges though.
But she said
But
that
we
we
have-
have project,
we
we'll
have
get that.
Gotten CCMG for
That's
bridges
what
for
scared me
several
on
years.
it,
when we were
If something
there.
comes up.
And I talked to NDOT yesterday, and that was one of their suggestions, you know, if you don't wanna do the federal way, put it in as CCMG. It'll just be 75-25 rather than 80-20.
Isn't that what you said? If we do that, we won't have no, won't be able to do no roads or nothing else out here.
That's
Just the
correct.
bridge.
Yeah, it'll be just the bridge.
As far as using CCG.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, as far as what we pay as matching.
Yeah. And the things with that. You're not gonna be held to the guidelines that the feds are holding us to. And that's why this is so much.
Or we could, like, I could say, okay, we don't have any extra money to provide, and let's see what happens if we get it or we don't get it. If we don't get it, then apply for CCMG next year. But to be able to apply for CCMG next year and have the bridge done in the same year, everything has to be done when you apply. Like, they have to be ready to go to build their bridge as soon as you get the CCMG.
So one thing that I'm considering here is if there's problems in 2 years with this bridge and there's, heaven forbid, there's some kind of crazy accident or whatever. If we're in process of this, we can say we're in process of this, we're in line for it. If we do nothing and there's something comes up with this bridge, then we've done nothing. So that's just a thought that I'm kind of wrestling with right now.
That's a good point, but I'm not sure about this, but if we do, whatever we do, I'm pretty sure that NDOT doesn't give a shit if that bridge falls in tomorrow in a year.
Exactly.
It's probably still gonna be on the 5-year. I can't imagine that they would accelerate it
Mhm.
because of that. I don't know the answer to that question, right?
No, I'm sure that one.
Yeah, I'm sure they won't.
So say we vote on this, do the 80-20. And then you check on box culverts or the kind Todd was talking about. And that's cheaper, can we just cancel it?
So Like if we,
You know,
so you're
maybe
saying,
that's true.
you're saying if we don't,
I mean,
if we don't wanna put anything in extra, right?
Yeah,
Anything extra, go with
So I
this so
don't
we
need
can
a-
get it going because you're almost out of time.
So I don't need a vote today. If we're not gonna say that we're putting anything in extra. We can just wait and see if we can get the grant or not. I can have Devco come out and see if we can do a box culvert, but we don't even know if we're getting this money yet.
Well, that's what I'm
So-
saying, so, but even if they accept it, but the box culvert was cheaper or the
We
other
pull
bridge, we can't pull out, no,
because we're not giving them this money yet.
Yeah.
right,
Yet.
yeah, there we go. And we don't have to give them, even if this goes 5 years.
No,
So if you. My thought, if you would check on that sooner the better. I mean, when you call them, they say, oh, it'll be a couple months, and no, we got that.
no, usually Devco's pretty,
Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
just,
they're pretty quick about coming out.
can they check what'd you call it?
Well, it could be a multi-plate, which Depco, that engineer would have,
Okay.
would have access to what
Yeah.
a multi-plate is,
Okay.
you know, which.
I mean, if we do go that route, like we wanna approve it by drainage board, cause that is a, regulated ditch.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what the drainage board
Yeah,
is
as
saying
long as
about.
the engineer, say, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Drainage board don't have an
The
engineer.
the only thing that matters is the hydraulics. I mean,
Right.
what the size of the flow and if it can meet the 100-year flood and all the Q100 and all that. As long as it meets all that, it doesn't matter. It's an opening, it's an open, you know?
Apply for it.
So let's say Devco says we can do a culvert, you're coming to the drainage board meeting with me. Deal.
I have no say so in it.
Now, Todd, you gotta love Rachel, she's right on
Done
it.
deal. Gotta go.
Okay, Dave, I know we've been chatting here. Do you want to weigh in?
You know, I like everybody's thoughts. It almost does sound like it is worthy of maybe waiting and seeing how the chips fall, you know, considering it's that much money, if that's where you guys are leaning. I've heard a lot of good input from several people.
I think the whole thing, Dave, is just the time. You know, you think it's 5 years out. We're making a decision for somebody 5 years
Right.
out. It may end up being double what that is.
Oh, like you said, on
You know?
300.
Yeah, 300.
5 years ago, whatever.
We're hundreds of thousands more.
We have to pay,
Well, I also like the idea of thinking over the years. I've always wondered this, why we don't use more stress core products. So like whoever brought that up, I think that's a good question too.
Yeah, that's another one, like a concrete box culvert.
We even discussed putting two side by side.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, Devco.
yeah, there's a lot of options. I mean,
That is somebody.
there's a lot of
I mean, that's
options.
highway. No, it's business.
Well, my only thought would be if we go that route, is it less than 844,000?
That's, she's gonna check on that.
Right,
We'll see if it's doable first.
right.
That's, you know, I mean, who knows, Mike, but the only thing is, by the time this gets to being let, that 844,000 is probably gonna be 1.5 million, you know?
Could be less.
I doubt that.
It's not gonna be less than this, I'll guarantee you that. There's no way in hell.
So do we have any interest in putting this in with just the 20% like she suggested and just see what they say?
Well, it's already, so this was already approved to apply for this grant last year and, we already like voted that, okay, yes, we are gonna. You guys agreed to use this amount of money toward this bridge, so the money for the bridge right now is voted for, it's all approved, we put in for the grant. They're just asking if we wanna put in more, if we wanna offer more. And they're saying, you know, whether we do or we don't, it's not gonna determine whether we get the grant, but I need a decision of, on money wise, if we wanted to offer more.
That just seems dirty.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, seriously.
I think.
I'm just shaking my head
just
thinking,
move forward with it.
Yeah, because then she said, she don't need no boat or nothing, but we can still pull out if she finds it cheaper.
Just glue a penny to the form and send it back.
But basically leave it in at the 20% and just see what they say.
it's like I say,
Cause even like Todd just said that one on 300 would put in 20% 4 years ago, 5. And then I don't remember how much more.
200 and some thousand more we had right after
Even though
that,
we
right?
agreed to 20.
Right.
Yeah,
But in the last 3 years, we've saw 40%
no, you're right.
inflation, which is not normal.
No, it's
Right.
not.
Yeah,
It's not.
right.
So I'll make that motion.
What are you making the motion for?
So that is-
We do 80-20.
just leaving it as is for
That's
now,
my
and then
motion.
she can look into it.
Yep.
I'd second.
And that
that.
way we can move forward, you know, what I mean, and should be passed or make it
And-
better.
Let's just say, I mean, this isn't going, like, we're not at a loss here. So let's say we don't get the grant. Let's say the culverts won't work. We can still do CCMG, apply for CCMG and possibly get it done in a year or 2 years
Right.
rather than 5 years.
Right. So as long as we're moving forward now, we're not really hurting nothing, we're not putting.
No, we're still applying for the grant
You're
and
still
it's
gonna
still
bring
up to
time.
them whether we get it or not.
Okay, did you hear my second on that?
Makes sense.
Thank you.
And you guys can't vote because we don't have.
We don't need to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nothing needs to be
right.
done. Great.
What else you want to talk about?
Nothing, leave.
Rachel, is he always at review?
Oh, yeah.
The next thing on your agenda, since you're meeting on this Friday, Wednesday, do you really need to discuss that now?
Unless somebody has something they want to talk about.
Hey, I've got something that needs.
On the.
We're talking about.
On the
We're
insurance,
gonna-
on the vehicle insurance, what she was talking about.
We're gonna-
Because you're gonna have a meeting on that Wednesday anyway, so, well,
Yeah,
Commissioner.
next Wednesday, yeah.
Well, council is not gonna be at that one,
It's a joint.
or is it joint?
It's not a joint
It's not
meeting.
joint,
Oh,
It's not
it's a-
First one.
This one was the joint.
yeah.
Wednesday's
Okay.
not a
Nothing to
joint.
do with us, really.
If the
Oh, money.
council's not gonna be here, do you guys wanna
That's why
weigh
you
in on anything with the insurance while we're all together?
That's where you guys get paid to
The
do.
only thing I weighed in was the money.
Yes, notes that you put up is there will be a joint session of the Stark County Commissioners and the Stark County Council on Wednesday, March 12th.
Oh, that's what I thought it was.
Oh, okay,
So
sorry.
you guys will be
Yeah.
here.
So you guys will be here.
So that can just,
Hey, Mike,
yes, sir.
if you don't mind if I share real quick, I actually called, Carrie the other day, but it was about this lawsuit and just some questions I had. But while we were talking, we did talk about that a little bit, and, it does seem like I'm just weighing in that this meeting sounds like it's definitely needed. I mean, we're at the point again now where we're just, so many things are happening and it's just costing us so much money. I mean, we're just burning money on insurance, and she feels for us too. So I think this is definitely a valuable meeting for us to all to get together on. And I don't know if it's policy, but we definitely need to dig deeper and try to figure out how we can reduce our liability and just reduce the claims. It just seems like there's constantly so many things, that happen. And I don't know if it's training or a mixture of things, but, just weighing in, I think this is going to be a valuable meeting.
I too called her because I was concerned about the money. And to echo what Dave said, she said, we're like on the edge of being canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a scary place to be.
And just what Dave said. She said that the big thing would be, I think maybe starting the safety committee back up and having just some full box trainings. So Blissman Knight can see that we're
Right.
doing something.
Yeah.
Pretty simple stuff. I mean, I don't know.
Well, and I don't know if we need to go to a point system with our drivers and so forth, that, you get so many points. We just can't employ you anymore, because you're too high risk of a driver.
If we
Also,
don't do something like that, we're gonna, Dave says we're gonna end up,
We're hell of a shape.
yeah.
Carrie said, because she called me today, she said she is happy to be at the department head meeting to discuss a safety committee, restarting a safety committee, and that when then they could discuss ideas and everything, and then have a safety meeting. But you discuss ideas at the department head meeting of what safety meetings you want, and then they'll schedule them for morning and afternoon, so that half the employees can go in the morning and the other half in the afternoon.
And it should not be very long.
Right.
Like the ones we do every week they're like 3 minutes.
But we do need to make an agenda so we
Yeah,
can focus our thoughts.
can I talk real quick? I won't take a lot of time.
All right.
It will take a lot of time. So we had that department head meeting yesterday. Okay, it was kind of a haphazard the first time around because just kind of wanted to get the feel. One of you three commissioners need to be there. I mean, one.
Me and Mike had actually talked about it, and I told him there really wasn't no invite to us.
Well, it was really no bite to anybody, because it was kind of like,
Right.
I mean, it was
Next
kind of.
time we said it was our first one.
And I think one of you two should be there, or one of you three should be there, because, obviously no decisions were made. And we talked about a lot of things. We talked about the insurance, people driving in vehicles. And I told him, I said, all I can tell you is what the insurance lawyer told me. I said, all that other stuff, that's the commissioner's deal. They're in charge of the executive, we're in charge of the money, and that's it, plain and simple.
And also, you guys
Yeah,
suggested having people let me know what they wanted to talk about so that I could write up an
Yeah,
agenda.
we gotta have an agenda.
Right.
And
So
so,
we'll talk, and one can be.
Whoever.
One out of the
yeah,
three.
whoever.
I'm big favor of the more discussion that's going on, the
Yeah.
better. Yeah, for sure.
I
And
mean,
you guys can take turns too, just to make sure.
I mean, it lasted, what, not quite an hour,
Yeah.
right? And we were done.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think, I don't know, I know it was a lot of. It was a lot. I think it was a good start.
Keep talking.
You know?
I think the one that I was doing one.
What's month? Next one.
I don't have any problem. People that wants to go.
Right. Right. Like I say,
What do you do
I-
now?
Just letting you all know about something.
Mike, I'm not trying to like suggest who might go, but just thinking in my head, trying to hold people responsible for the areas they're responsible to. Charlie is over the annex. So, I mean, shouldn't he be the one primarily when he's available going to those meetings and doing?
Yeah.
I mean,
Commissioners.
everybody was sure about the judge,
Yeah,
right?
he said he's not a department head.
I know
Okay.
I know that.
And he probably won't.
Yeah, I know that. Pardon me?
County's social media.
Yeah.
Hear the different issues and things that we have going on.
I don't care about going to everyone.
So
But make sure you put all through.
I'm gonna go with somebody to just
On those meetings.
I'll do that.
Didn't I send it to you just yesterday?
But what meeting yet?
Yes, but I mean, after the meeting, I sent you what was discussed and how they wanted them in.
Oh, yeah, I got that. yeah.
Okay.
You just killed enough trees to do this.
Let's do April 2nd.
That's a long time.
so
Well, it's once a month.
I know.
Oh, it's the first Wednesday of the
all.
month.
I think Donnie's saying we need to put her in.
Oh, I did this,
Thank
night, didn't I? I thought I sent a reminder.
A month away.
Does
So-
the county have a countywide calendar? Like everybody?
It's on the
Yeah, we
website.
do
I don't know
online.
how much it gets updated.
yeah,
That
but
everyone can.
we can see it, so they need something just for them, which the department head meetings wouldn't be a public.
Also, they just
Yeah.
create a recurring meeting, like,
Themselves on her calendar.
We have an Outlook calendar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what you guys.
just
can.
do a recurring event, an outlook.
So, just in case, I know you guys are gonna talk about the insurance next week, but I'm just curious. I know a lot of people take their vehicles home. And not all of them maybe need to, like I can see people that are on call, but would that help too if?
Well, I think that'll be part of this discussion.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something to think about that, I mean, I know I see a lot of Starke County vehicles sitting in people's driveways. So obviously, do they really need to take their vehicles home? And would that lower the insurance if they weren't? Just a thought.
All right, do we have any other official business?
I-
County?
I don't know, I think that's in
With the
the.
yesterday meeting, and we were talking about, the passengers and vehicles. I did, go through the handbook last night, and the way it reads to me is that only the sheriff's vehicles can have like immediate family in them.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I think I sent it out to
Yeah,
you after
did-
she
did
sent
you-
it to me.
Yeah,
And I mean, that's something to have carried.
Yeah.
Because you guys know what the problem is. The problem is that those people, whoever rides in any county vehicle, they're insured, okay? But there's no medical. So if the car that hits them or whatever happens and they don't have medical or don't have anything else, then we're on the hook for all of that passenger's medical. So in turn, what would happen, they could come back on us because, hey, I was in your vehicle, no matter who hit me. And you know, the Sioux Happy Society we're in. And that's the thing that she brought up to me, is where the concern was with that. And she said, Bliss McKnight, under no circumstances, we're gonna issue us a policy. where we can let all anybody who wants full coverage.
Well,
That's what's told
I
me at least.
agree that they don't. But good, I mean, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
really.
So honestly, that paragraph needs to be rewritten for clarity either way,
Yeah,
but if
yeah.
we're gonna be reworking it entirely, that's.
Right, that's what, like Mike said, that's what we got
Yeah.
next Wednesday for,
Yeah, I mean, she's one with the answers.
right?
Well,
And she will have Bliss McKnight.
Oh, she will?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I think as far as our vehicle insurance goes, we're probably just gonna have to start nipping away at some of this stuff to lower it, even if one little thing is a small piece of the pie. We're just gonna have to keep taking that out until we have a more responsible insurance policy, so we don't lose it at some point.
Because what we learned from Pressel today, what Senate Bill 2, which is about eliminating the local tax, some of the property tax and switching the burden to us. Well, that bill is not totally completely dead. There's been a lot of stuff that's been taken out of it, the way he understood it. Right, Bruce?
Yep.
And don't know if it's gonna go to a vote this year. But if it does and it passes, then we got a whole nother animal we're gonna have to face somehow. But
Well, the bottom line is we're gonna have to tighten our belts up
big time,
every way we go, and we might as well get started.
so
Right, well,
anyways,
so moving on from vehicle insurance, is there any other business, Stanley? It seems like.
Yeah,
you're not on the agenda.
I'm not, I'm just,
I was actually gonna mention that, is, I'm not speaking for Charlie here, but, you know, in the future, if you have a big presentation like this, it would be better if you were on the agenda.
I'm not really making a presentation or asking for a decision. I just wanted to let as many of the officials know about this as soon as possible. So passing out all the paperwork to everyone who did show up. This is regarding the county's social media. Now, Mike sat in on a meeting that kind of went over this and why it is probably a necessary thing for us. All social media accounts that we have are considered public record. Although we're not in control of the data that stays on there. So anybody that posts on there can delete their message, and then if we get a FOIA request, we're still liable for it. But that's just from that one legal aspect of it. There's quite a bit to go through in your pleasure reading time.
I did see in your email, there was some costs here.
Yes,
Yeah,
Did you wanna mention that? Kind of go over it with us?
sure.
that's the first thing I saw.
Yeah, the cost for this this company to do the social media archiving for us costs $7-something thousand a year.
24.
If we sign up before April 1st, they'll give us the 6-month payment and throw in 2 months free. If we're willing to go ahead with it that quickly. I'm not asking to make a decision on that right now. Like I said, I just wanted to let you people know that I think this is something that the county does need to look into. Because we are open for liability.
There's a way we can do it for free. Just delete all Facebook accounts.
That was my idea too, but I don't think I can convince everyone to do that.
So, you know, it's up to these guys to consider.
Yeah.
It's they're the executives.
Which is why I'm here. Yep, letting you know, it's a liability for us as it is.
I always wondered if that was gonna happen. You know,
One lawsuit.
Yeah.
You know,
I always wondered because I knew having to archive the meetings, I figured all this stuff would probably fall under the same.
you know how many other counties have it down close, local? you
A
know?
lot,
Do they?
yes,
Can you give us that data?
yes.
Because what they do, then they will archive, if something's deleted, they'll already have it archived, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That way
Is
it
that, I know you said social media, since we use YouTube,
That's considered social.
it is, okay.
Oh, is
You
it?
can comment on the, and so again, to your point,
Yeah,
you
you're
can
right.
delete all the Facebook pages we want.
Yeah.
But when we share the videos, people can
Are
comment.
you on our next
On
meeting
YouTube.
agenda?
Yes. You might want to add the social media archiving to my time.
So on our, not Wednesday, meeting, Mike, when you.
No, I know, March 17th.
So is this in regards to a lawsuit that we already have?
No, not that we already have, trying to,
Law.
yeah, proactive on this.
And this is the only company we could get. I mean, is there more companies that cheaper price or no?
I'm not aware of any other companies do.
10 a.m. April
So
second.
Mike was in the meeting and this company is doing it from county to federal level, White House even, yeah.
The
Uh,
department head meeting,
They're definitely.
April 2nd,
Right.
That, okay, but March 12th, what time is that?
Yeah, that's
cool.
1 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah, April 2nd.
10 or cutoff for.
Yes.
Over here.
Is there any way you can just
Okay.
verify that there's not anybody else that can do this? Cause really, like Juan said, it's better to have two quotes.
I'll try to double check, see if there's,
For next meeting.
sure. And I'll get you the information on, other northern Indiana counties that are using,
Okay,
or maybe even municipal or as well.
Right.
That'll probably triple the size of the list. Mhm.
well, thanks for the information, Stanley.
Yeah, everything in there to see why this really is a legal precedent that we need to keep an eye on. And I'm also mentioning that while I am presenting it, this isn't an IT department thing, this is at top of the county down.
When White Stanley's here, I'm gonna give him kudos. Because yesterday at the meeting, we had a discussion about if you have money for something and you go over the appropriation that will come into us first, tough shit. He called me probably hour after the meeting and stated that our contract with Lowe's or with right?
Loud.
Had not been paid on time, so we had a 10% penalty. And it would take us over what it was. And I told Stanley, I said, somebody better figure out how to get that 18,000 off, because we're not
Rebecca
paying.
got it off.
And she did, that's right. And then kudos to her too for doing it. But kudos to him for coming to that meeting and paying
I was
attention.
gonna say right there makes the meeting worthwhile.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to you. I mean, you deserve recognition for doing, yeah, for doing what you're supposed to do. I mean, that's very important.
Yeah.
I mean,
What
that's,
happened was that the bill got
you
sent
know,
to the wrong place,
Right.
It didn't get sent to
It
us.
got brought up.
yeah.
I took care of
So I'm glad that Rebecca and you followed that up and we resolved it. And that's what we want to hear. Thank you very much.
And I had one more question for the council, not really official or anything, I just wanted to follow up.
It can't be official.
Where are we at with that salary ordinance amendment that I had requested before?
Yeah, I had that on the agenda the one time and you guys never made a decision on it.
We did? We
Yeah.
did?
For,
You voted on it, but it was never.
Well, I thought there was supposed to be a public hearing.
well, there was, it was with the additionals, it said, but it never
Well,
got
if we,
signed or,
why didn't we sign it?
I don't know.
Is it there ready to be signed?
It's upstairs, yeah.
Can we sign it now?
Well, but was it voted on?
Yeah, I don't think you guys even voted on the amendment. You
I think
voted on
that
the
if it was a
appropriation.
public hearing, I think it was another one of the situations where under, on the agenda, it didn't say public hearing. I remember appropriations, but I don't think there was anything in there about salary ordinance, so you guys probably forgot. But it was in the paper, I kind of remember it being.
Yeah, it was in
It
paper.
was hearings, but I don't know that you guys ever opened the hearing, unfortunately.
So can we still
I
have
haven't
time
missed
to
any
do
of
it
your
for our
meetings,
next
Todd. I
meeting
don't
then?
think there was.
I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, because it already was advertised.
So we can,
I would
Could
think
we
it'd
even
be
do that next Wednesday?
I
The
think
joint-
I doubt
Yeah,
next
I
Wednesday, probably
think you would
your
have
next
to-
meeting.
yeah, probably have to be the 17th, Bruce.
And you need the whole, or at least a quorum,
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we do for the 17th.
So re-advertise it, is that what you're saying?
Well, if I
I don't know
have to
if we have to.
re-advertise it, it wouldn't be till the April meeting because this one's already been
I don't-
advertised.
I don't think.
It has to be advertised 10 days.
Oh, it just has to be advertised 10 days ahead, she's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So as long as you open the
Public hearing.
public hearing, I think you're
At
okay.
the meeting.
Yeah.
I would check with Justin, but I'm pretty sure. you're
Today's
okay.
10 days.
Oh, well,
There you go.
Gotta get it posted.
It had to be, well, that's just it. It had to be at the paper last Wednesday for it to be in 10 days ahead of time. When you're posting stuff for the paper, you have to send it to them 8 days before it's gonna be in the paper. For like yesterday's paper, it had to be in by February 26th or 5th, I think it was.
That's a lot of paper that
Nobody read.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they are working on it through the state to where we don't have to advertise anything in the newspaper anymore. We just have to put it in Gateway 10 days ahead of time, which is going to make it a lot quicker for us to get stuff advertised.
But it's gonna be 10 days also.
It's still gonna be 10 days ahead of time.
But it wouldn't be
it's not
20
gonna
days.
be 20 days ahead of time.
So just being a squeaky wheel on that.
All right, well, we'll have to look into and figure out what we did or
So
whatever.
I'll call Justin and see if we need to re-advertise it.
Thank you.
So if you do, he needs on the agenda for the following meeting.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
If Justin
If it
says they
needs-
can't.
Yeah, if it needs to be re-advertised, it'll have to be in April.
Still wait.
All right. That'd be April, whatever.
But it can be
Well, like-
retroactive for the first of the year or for whenever you
Yeah,
first brought it up.
that's what I proposed when I brought it up initially.
Good thing you brought it up.
Yeah, because I forgot about it now
Is Dave
too.
still on there? Is he gone?
I don't see him there.
I don't see anybody on there now.
Yeah.
Huh. All right, well, while we're all here, I got one more thing. We have to vote on that, but this is a very good thing. So I think that the jail seat it and all that stuff, I think that problem is resolved. We met with Pressel today and he said he has filed a bill to amend the law involving that. And it'll be retroactive to last year. So it could possibly get us out of all the stuff from last year. But it's to be voted on. So we'll see if it passes.
So in the
Owned by the state.
Yeah, it's in a session,
Okay.
so.
So then once that's done, we're gonna know what we can spend it on, what not.
Yeah, then we should be able to go on the way we have been going on
Okay.
wrongly. But it'll be right way now.
Right. But it was supposed to have been right, wasn't
What
it?
about regular seated? Is that gonna impact the regular seated?
It shouldn't-
We still need the capital.
No, that's got to be a separate thing, one monster at a time. I told you that today, Roberta.
Anything from the public? No.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
You can bring those.
Yeah. You don't need that, you go anywhere.
So Michael.
That's typical the way the state, that's always worked, always like that.
Once in a while, like I stopped at a gas station, suddenly open it up and it's just the main proposed. None of the other things.
Like on the.
Yeah.
That whole time, for free.
Sure it
I
did.
miss old.
Yeah.
maps.
Too.
So they accept it as a public hearing.
Thanks, Stanley.
Did you bring it on there?
Thank you.
He doesn't have to.
Okay, you can discuss it. You said you had to-
Yeah, cause I.
Yeah, but I don't.
I've never got
If I'm gonna have to wax them, and I'm gonna insist that we put a line in there that I can wax my own with the same.
This was my.
Same button.
There was no.
Yeah, thanks.
No, there was no second page.
I run around like a chicken with a head, so I'm trying to do my best. Yeah.
Yeah, there was 2 pages to that
Thank you.
agenda.
So then it could.
So it was.
So I sent. Get a text, I didn't know if you were looking at it.
Oh.
He wouldn't fit the qualifications for the planning commission. But I
I'm
sent
tired
you-
of having meetings today.
Well, I don't think it does either,
What-
but
oh,
just,
Ah.
I threw it out.
I am too, and I had 2 meetings yesterday.
I was scared to lose.